There are no accidents in your arrival here. Stop and recognize that truth before you dismiss these words as just another video, just another voice trying to echo into the noise of your day. This is not noise. This is alignment. This is a signal carved into time itself, reaching only the ears of those chosen to perceive beyond survival. You, with the letter M on your palms, with the perfect crescent moon. This is the hour when heaven interrupts your ordinary thoughts to remind you that your struggle was never meaningless and your lack was never punishment. It was training. Training for something the world around you is not qualified to endure. The truth is disruptive, but it must be said. Your financial desert is not proof that heaven abandoned you. It is evidence that heaven has been sharpening you. While the masses drown themselves in excess, you were chosen to survive on drops. While others mocked your lack, you were learning the rhythm of overflowing tables. You learned to hear the whisper of heaven in ravens' wings and ants' steps. Nothing was wasted. Every scarcity, every bill unpaid, every door closed, it was all a classroom that those around you cannot comprehend. Do you remember the times when the ants appeared in unusual ways around you? Not simply as insects, but as symbols, moving with structure, never frantic, never distracted, carrying burdens far heavier than their size should allow. Ants cross your path as living sermons, telling you, discipline in little creates dominion in much. The ant does not complain of crumbs. It organizes, stores, multiplies. It knows that the season of abundance is not eternal, and so it prepares. Heaven sent ants into your view, not to annoy you, but to mark you. They were whispering, "Chosen one, learn to build even when others see nothing worth storing." And then the camel. Perhaps you dreamed of one. Perhaps you saw its image. Perhaps you simply felt its endurance in your spire without explanation. The camel is the creature of deserts, moving across sand where water is hidden, where shade is rare, where others collapse. The camel survives where others curse. When the desert has scorched your hopes, the camel tells you, "Chosen one, scarcity will not kill you, it will crown you." That strength in your chest, that resilience in your mind, that refusal to collapse, even when your account has fallen to numbers you could barely look at. This is not accident. This is divine DNA. The camel is heaven's signature across your journey, showing you that you are designed to walk through places where others would not last a day. And the raven, you must not overlook it. The raven has always carried divine mystery. To some, it is a scavenger, but to prophets, it was the courier of survival. In famine, when all seemed stripped bare, ravens carried food where none should exist. When bread was gone, flights circling over your house, perhaps in sudden appearances that made no sense. Do not dismiss them. These are reminders, chosen one. Provision is not about the marketplace. Provision is about obedience. If bread was lacking, it was to multiply what you don't yet recognize. If money was absent, it was to teach you that heaven could send supply through ways that defy calculation. Understand this clearly. The desert was not punishment, it was preparation. Your debt was not final, it was discipline. Your empty refrigerator was not humiliation, it was instruction. Every moment of lack was a chiseling of your spirit, so that when the hour of overflow arrives, you will not waste it like the world wastes. You will not scatter it in vanity. You will steward it as sacred trust. Now let me disrupt you further. Look at the number 4707. Do not dismiss it as random digits. Heaven encodes instruction in numbers, patterns that look coincidental until your spirit found by accident. 4 speaks of foundations, the stability heaven forces you to build before you are allowed to rise. 7 is the divine test, the refinement through trials until purity shines. And 0 is the cycle, the nothingness where faith alone sustains you. Then again, 7, the completion of trial, the confirmation that what was begun in pain ends in perfection. When 4707 enters your path, it is not an address, not a receipt, not a clock time. It is heaven saying, your foundation is tested, your faith is refined, your cycle of emptiness is nearly concluded, and your completion is secure. Chosen ones, let these words pierce you. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible to God. You are a walking prophecy of endurance, a soul that has been qualified to hold abundance because you did not collapse when others mocked your scarcity. You must reframe every moment of lack. Stop replaying the shame. Begin in the desert, but you are standing as heaven's student, and this channel is not here to entertain you. It is here to remind you, to shake you from despair, to awaken the codes already written on your hands, in your spirit, and across your journey. Do not scroll past this. Do not minimize this. This is not an accident. This is heaven using digital signals to reach those who thought they were abandoned. If you feel the M carved across your palm burning right now as you listen, if you see the crescent moon glowing subtly when you tilt your hand toward the light, it is your confirmation. Heaven is saying, I see you, I trained you, and I am not finished. Your desert was your trainer. Your scarcity was your syllabus. Your lack was your classroom. You are not here to collapse. You are here to emerge. And when you emerge, you will not just feed yourself. You will feed nations. Before we go further, pause with me for just a moment. If what you've heard so far has awakened something in you, felt a stirring in your chest or a confirmation in your spirit, then this channel was built with you in mind. I want to speak to you as one person to another, not as a preacher above the crowd, but as a fellow traveler in the desert. That's why I'm asking you right now, subscribe, not as a favor, not as a transaction, but as a covenant. A way of saying, yes, I belong to this circle of chosen ones who refuse to collapse in the desert. And I want you to do something more. Leave a comment and tell me, what signs, what numbers, what visions have been following you? Share the codes you've seen, because this community is not about one voice. It is about many voices confirming each other's journey. When you write your vision, you make it visible for someone else who thought they were alone. So please, tell us in the comments what heaven has been whispering to you, and tell me what themes you would like me to unfold in future videos. Because this is not a stage, it is a circle. Gathering a fire in the desert where we sit together and recognize that none of us are abandoned. Now, let's go deeper. If Block 1 showed you the desert as your trainer, Block 2 must reveal why only those with the M and crescent moon on their palms can interpret its hidden syllabus. You see, most people walk through financial struggle and emerge bitter. They see lack as shame, they see delay as failure, and they miss the pattern heaven tried to write into them. But chosen ones, those marked from birth, are different. Their scars are not punishments, they are credentials. Their lack is not emptiness, it is investment. Their waiting is not delay, it is alignment. Take the number 1831, for example. If you've seen it flicker on a screen, or if it keeps appearing in receipts, clocks, or even dreams, do not ignore it. 1 stands for divine beginnings, 8 for resurrection and whispering. Your beginning is resurrected, your waiting is complete, and your cycle is confirmed. Numbers like these are not coincidences. They are codes written in the architecture of time for those who were born with heaven's seal. Chosen ones with the M and crescent moon, I must tell you this directly. The desert was heaven's vote of confidence in you. Ordinary souls collapse under hunger, but you carried your hunger as proof that you could be trusted with more. Ordinary hearts panic at unpaid bills, but you turned your unpaid bills into prayers that ascended as incense. Ordinary minds curse scarcity, but you turned scarcity into vision. That is why you were chosen. You were given the harder syllabus because heaven knew you could master it. Let me remind you of the animals once more, but this time with a deeper key. The ant not only teaches discipline, it teaches secrecy. Ants build entire kingdoms underground. What is happening? That's you. You are building in silence, preparing in shadows, creating in ways the world cannot measure. Do not despise your hidden season. Your emergence will be undeniable. The camel not only carries endurance, it carries water within itself. Do you understand? The desert never robs the camel, because the camel carries its own provision in secret. That's what heaven has done with you. When everyone assumed you would collapse, you were carrying oil inside, water inside, strength inside. The desert never had the power to starve you because you were carrying heaven's supply within. And the raven, oh, do not reduce the raven to folklore. The raven is not just a messenger of provision, it is a breaker of logic. It delivers food to prophets when the economy fails. It moves outside the systems of trade and currency. And this is your sign. Heaven will feed you through channels that others cannot explain. You may not even be able to explain it yourself. A check arrives. We're not expecting. A stranger sows into your life. An opportunity opens without resume or recommendation. That's raven provision, divine supply without human permission. Now I must speak plainly. The world will mock you for believing this. They will say you are delusional, mystical, lost in signs and symbols. Let them laugh. They laughed at prophets before. They laughed at messengers before. They always mock until the flood arrives, until the provision falls, until the very ones they mocked are elevated. Hold your faith. Remember the numbers. Remember the animals. Remember your palms. Because the desert is nearly complete. The cycle is almost closed. And when heaven brings you into abundance, you will not rise for yourself alone. You will rise as a pillar for others. The raven will not only feed you, it will carry bread for those who never believed. The camel will not only endure for you, it will carry others across deserts they thought were impossible. The ant will not only prepare for your family, but for generations you will never meet. You are more than a survivor. You are more than a struggler. You are heaven's hidden syllabus, heaven's desert student, heaven's chosen messenger with signs written in your very flesh. Chosen ones, lean closer to these words. You must understand that what you endured in silence is not only about you, it is about those who will come after you. The desert you crossed was not just your test, it was their inheritance. Heaven trained you in lack so that you could train them in abundance. You were made to become a living blueprint, a walking map that others could follow. Think of the generations that came before you. Some of them collapsed in the desert. Some of them bowed under the weight of poverty, shame, and debt. Some of them cursed the ground they walked on and believed that their fate was sealed. But you, yes, you with the letter M marked into your hand was not decoration. It was a seal of assignment. It was heaven's way of declaring, this one will carry the desert, but will not be buried in it. This one will transform famine into foundation. Look now at the number 722. It is not random if it has been circling your life. 7, again, is trial and refinement. 2 is covenant, and repeated 2 is doubled confirmation. Together, 722 is a code of divine agreement, heaven's contract with you, that what was tested will become testimony, what was empty will become evidence. If you've seen 722 flash on a clock or land on a receipt, recognize it. Heaven is whispering, I am sealing a covenant with you in this hour. And then there is 470, which may have appeared to you. 4 for foundation, 7 for refinement, and 0 for cycle. 470 says that your foundation is forged in trial and of blessing. Chosen ones, hear me. Your desert is not about money alone. It is about vision. It is about stewardship. It is about teaching you to multiply crumbs before you are trusted with harvest. Do you not see? When you prayed for money and did not receive it, heaven was showing you that money is not your provider. Faith is. When you begged for doors to open and they stayed shut, heaven was teaching you that doors are not the source. Obedience is. And when you thought you were being humiliated, heaven was engraving humility into your spirit so that pride could never destroy you when wealth arrives. Consider the divine animals again through generational eyes. The ant does not build for itself alone. It stores food underground for the colony, preparing not for one, but for many. Heaven marked you with the ant to remind you your wealth will not be selfish, it will be generational. Your preparation is for a lineage. The camel carries not only its rider, but also goods across the desert. The camel becomes the transport of resources, the bearer of weight that others cannot carry. This is you. You are being prepared to carry burdens for families, for communities, for nations. And the raven, it does not hoard what it carries. It delivers. The raven's flight is not selfish. It obeys heaven's command to feed the prophet. Your blessing is not for your own consumption. It is for delivery. You will carry provision to others who would have starved without you. Do you see the pattern? The desert was never about you surviving. It was about you learning how to provide. The chosen ones are the only ones trusted with this role because they have proven themselves faithful with little. That is why you were marked differently. That is why you were given the M and Crescent moon, because you were never ordinary. And so I must disrupt you again. Do not envy the ones who never knew lack. Do not compare yourself to those who were born into abundance. Do not resent the ones who, now while you cry, because their abundance is untested, their foundation is shallow, and when storms come, they will fall. But you, oh you, your abundance will be anchored in deserts, in hunger, in nights of tears. That abundance will not fade, it will multiply. Listen carefully, you are heaven's investment strategy. The desert was the deposit, you are the account, and the generations are the beneficiaries. What you carry is not small. What you endured is not wasted. You are a seed. And seeds always look like nothing until they break the ground. Chosen ones, your journey is the proof that heaven trusts you with nations. That is why you have felt such weight. That is why the warfare against you has been so intense. That is why every delay has felt unbearable. Heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was preserving you. You were hidden because you are rare. You were tested because you are trusted. You were broken because you are about to be multiplied. Remember this, when you rise, rise not as a survivor, but as a pillar. You will rise not as one delivered, but as one sent to deliver. Your desert becomes your syllabus, and your abundance becomes your sermon. Chosen one, you have walked far to arrive at this moment. You have listened through desert winds, through nights of emptiness, through echoes that told you it was all meaningless. And yet you are still here. You are not broken. You are not crushed. You are standing as proof that heaven never wastes a wilderness. Look again at your hands. The M is not a random fold of flesh. The crescent moon is not an accidental line. These were written into your design before you drew your first breath. They are heaven's handwriting upon your palms, declaring that no desert can erase what was written before time itself began. When the desert tried to tell you that you were unworthy, your hands were already speaking louder. When your lack tried to convince you that you were invisible, your palms bore witness that you were marked, sealed, chosen. The number 4707 returns here to finish its story. It began as a whisper, a code that seemed meaningless, but now you see its pattern. 4. The foundation you could not buy, the stability built in hunger. 7. The refinement, the trial, the stripping away of all falsehood. 0. The cycle of nothingness, the void that made you depend fully on God. And 7 again, the confirmation that what began in trial will end in completion. This is not just a number, it is your timeline. 4707 is your desert summarized. Foundation, refinement, emptiness, completion. It is heaven telling you, you did not walk in circles, you walked in codes. Chosen ones, your desert is the birthplace of your destiny. Do not despise it. The world will only see your glory, but you will always know the desert that forged it. And that memory will keep you humble, grateful, ready to pour out for others. The divine animals now gather. Preparation in obscurity is never wasted. The camel kneels in the sand, reminding you that endurance is wealth beyond currency. And the raven takes flight above your head, wings stretched wide, whispering, provision is on its way, not through logic, but through command. You see, your story was never just about finances. It was about your calling. Heaven used the desert of lack to reveal the abundance of your spirit. Heaven used emptiness to show you that you were never empty. Heaven used hunger to prove that you already carried bread within you. And now comes the moment where I must speak not only as a voice on a screen, but as a friend in this sacred circle. If these words have confirmed something deep within you, if they have reminded you of who you are and why you are here, I ask you now, subscribe. Not because this channel seeks numbers, but because this circle seeks family. Every time you subscribe, Tribe of the Chosen. But more than that, I want you to speak. Leave your voice in the comments. Share the visions you've seen, the numbers that have followed you, the animals that have appeared in your path. Tell us what you learned here today. Your testimony may be the confirmation someone else has been waiting for. And if there are voices of pessimism, of mockery, of doubt, ignore them. This space is not for them. This space is for those who carry the seal of heaven on their hands, for those who are tired of walking alone, for those who know they were marked since birth. Chosen one, this is not the end. This is only the continuation of your awakening. The desert is closing. The cycle is shifting. The completion is near. You are not here by accident. You are here because heaven circled this hour for you before you pressed play. Lift your head. Straighten your back. Look again at your palms. You are the evidence that deserts produce kings, that scarcity births stewards, that ones rise not by accident, but by assignment. This is your confirmation. You are chosen. You are sealed. You are ready. Chosen one, I need you to pause for a moment and feel the weight of this truth. Everything you endured has been coded into your spirit, like scripture written without ink. Your tears were ink. Your silence was parchment. Your scars were signatures. You are a walking scroll, and your story is a living prophecy. Others read books for knowledge, but heaven wrote your journey so that you could be the book that others would one day read. That is why your life could not be easy, because your very existence is curriculum. Do you understand what this means? Every closed door was not simply rejection, it was punctuation. Every unpaid bill was not a curse, it was a comma. Every long night of waiting was not absence, it was a semicolon. Because heaven was not ending your story, heaven was extending it. Your life is not written in final periods, it is written in sacred pause, designed so that the right audience would arrive to read the right chapter at the right time. And today, you are not hearing this by chance. You are in the correct chapter of your own unfolding. Now, let us enter deeper into the codes. Some of you have been followed by 993. Do not dismiss it. 9 is completion. 9 again is multiplied completion,